Tyler was a man who could light up a room with his charm. At 32, his tousled hair and piercing eyes made him the center of attention wherever he went. Behind his laid-back smile, however, lay a complicated family history that shaped his reluctance to commit to anything serious. Since childhood, Tyler had avoided family gatherings, haunted by memories of chaotic Christmases that left a bitter taste in his mouth. Instead of cozy family holidays, he chose the lively atmosphere of bars or parties, seeking shallow thrills to fill the void within him. For years, his best friend and co-worker, William, had been his go-to partner for such escapades. Together, they celebrated every festive occasion with drinks, laughter, and the freedom of single life. But this year, things were beginning to change. The office was buzzing with holiday excitement. Colleagues talked endlessly about family reunions, dinners, and travel plans. Tyler, however, had already mapped out his usual routine. Another night of fun with William. 2 days before Christmas Eve, Tyler approached William at the end of their workday, his excitement evident. "Hey, Will, you won't believe it. I found a new bar that's going to be the Christmas night hotspot. Live music, great vibes, and of course, plenty of beautiful women. We've got to check it out," he said, giving William a friendly pat on the shoulder. William smiled, but this time his expression carried something else, a hint of hesitation. "Man, that sounds awesome," William began, "but remember Rachel? That girl I told you about? Things are getting serious between us." Tyler's smile faltered. "Serious? Like how serious?" he asked, his tone still playful. William chuckled nervously. "I'm spending Christmas with her family this year. She invited me. And, well, it felt like the right time." Tyler froze. His loyal partner in crime was ditching their usual plans for a family Christmas? He forced a laugh, trying to mask his disappointment. "Oh, I see. So, what's next?" Tying the knot, he teased, half joking but unable to hide the sting in his words. William laughed, trying to lighten the mood. "It's not like that, man. But, life changes. Maybe one day you'll get it." Still stunned, Tyler shrugged and pretended not to care. After they said goodbye, Tyler reached out to other friends, hoping to salvage his plans. He sent texts, stopped by desks at work, and made calls. But the response was always the same. Everyone had commitments, family dinners, romantic dates, or trips. For the first time, Tyler began to feel the weight of his choices. While he stayed rooted in his carefree lifestyle, everyone around him seemed to be moving forward. What once felt like freedom was beginning to look a lot like loneliness. On the last workday before Christmas, the office buzzed with holiday cheer. Twinkling lights adorned the windows, and the sweet scent of gingerbread cookies mingled with the usual aroma of coffee. Laughter echoed through the hallways, accompanied by the soft hum of Christmas music playing on the break room radio. Tyler's colleagues were full of excitement as they exchanged holiday cards and warm hugs, gathering their things to head off for celebrations. Some carried brightly wrapped packages, gifts for secret friends or family. In stark contrast, Tyler sat at his desk, his eyes fixed on the computer screen. He absent-mindedly twirled a pen, pretending to look busy, even though all his tasks were done. The truth was, he had no rush to leave. There were no parties to attend, no one waiting for him. The sharp ring of his phone broke his thoughts. Seeing his mother's name on the screen, he sighed. She had called several times that week, and he already knew what this was about. "Hello, Mom," he answered, forcing a cheerful tone. "Tyler, dear, I know you're busy, but I hope you're still considering my offer. The dinner will be wonderful, and everyone would love to see you. It's been so long." Her voice carried warmth and hope. Tyler squeezed his eyes shut, guilt creeping in as he listened. The thought of returning to those complicated family dynamics stirred unease. "Thanks for the invitation, Mom, but I already have plans." "It's going to be exciting," he lied, trying to sound convincing. There was a brief silence before his mother replied gently, "All right, dear. I just want you to know there's always a place for you at the table." Her tenderness only deepened the emptiness inside him. After hanging up, Tyler glanced around. The office was nearly empty, just him and Alice, who was still quietly working at her desk in the finance department. Alice was a quiet figure in the office, often blending into the background. Her long brown hair was tied back in a simple bun, with a few loose strands framing her face. Thin framed glasses rested on her delicate nose, and her neutral, classic clothing gave her an air of practicality. Among their more outgoing colleagues, Alice had earned the nickname Cat Lady. While the label carried unkind stereotypes, it reflected how others saw her. A solitary woman who likely lived alone, surrounded by cats, books, and silence. Tyler, like most of the office, had never bothered to know if the rumors were true. Alice always seemed absorbed in her work, oblivious to the whispers. She was rarely invited to group lunches or happy hours, a rejection she seemed to take in stride. As Alice passed Tyler's desk, she paused briefly, holding some papers in one hand. Her smile was shy but genuine as she softly broke the silence. "I didn't realize anyone else was still here. You're really dedicated. Just don't work too hard, or you might miss Christmas dinner," she said with a hint of humor. Tyler looked up, a little surprised by her approach, and let out an awkward laugh. "Well, actually, I don't have any plans for the holiday," he admitted. Alice raised her eyebrows in surprise, but hesitated before replying. "I don't have anyone to spend Christmas with either. I'm just making a simple dinner at home. If you'd like, you're welcome to join me. At least you'll have something warm to eat." Tyler was taken aback. Spending Christmas with the office cat lady wasn't exactly what he'd pictured for a lively evening. He opened his mouth to politely decline, but something in Alice's eyes stopped him. There was no pity or desperation in her offer, just genuine kindness. "Well, why not? It might be nice to eat something other than frozen food," Tyler replied with a smile, still unsure but willing to give it a chance. Alice's face lit up, and she nodded. "Great. I'll see you later then." A few hours later, Tyler arrived at Alice's apartment. To his surprise, he was greeted not by a horde of cats, but an energetic Labrador retriever. "This is Max," Alice introduced him with a warm smile. "He loves visitors." Tyler couldn't help but laugh. The infamous cat lady had a dog. The apartment was cozy and inviting, filled with the comforting aroma of cinnamon and pine. As Tyler glanced around, his eyes fell on a beautiful painting of a serene mountain landscape hanging on the wall. "I painted that a few years ago," Alice said softly, noticing his interest. "It's really beautiful," Tyler replied, genuinely impressed. Tyler marveled at the intricate details of Alice's home, from the vibrant painting on the wall to the inviting scent of cinnamon and pine. Alice invited him to help himself at the small bar while she finished preparing dinner. Tyler selected a bottle of red wine, poured himself a glass, and sank into the plush sofa. For the first time in years, he felt an unfamiliar sense of comfort. "I don't know what your family's tradition is. Do you wait until midnight to eat?" Alice called from the kitchen, her voice carrying a mix of curiosity and casual warmth. "My family didn't really have any specific traditions," Tyler replied, swirling the wine in his glass. "We can eat now if that's okay with you." Alice appeared moments later, gesturing to the table she had meticulously set. It was adorned with a roasted turkey, golden brown potatoes, colorful vegetables, and a pie that exuded a rich, sweet aroma. Tyler couldn't hide his surprise at the effort and care she had poured into the meal. "This is incredible," he remarked, taking in the inviting spread. As they began eating, the atmosphere felt cozy and intimate. Alice watched him thoughtfully, her eyes calm yet filled with a gentle curiosity. After a pause, she asked Tyler, "May I ask you something? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. But why are you alone on Christmas?" Tyler hesitated, his gaze fixed on the wine glass in his hand. He traced the rim with his fingers, his mind wandering back to moments he preferred to leave buried. But there was something in Alice's gaze, a quiet understanding, that made it easier to speak. My family's complicated, he began, his voice low and deliberate. When I was a kid, my parents had this cycle, fighting, making up, fighting again. Every holiday, especially Christmas, became another stage for their arguments. Little things, like a burnt turkey or a missing gift, could ignite a full-blown war. He paused, his expression distant. Alice didn't interrupt, her silence encouraging him to continue. But one Christmas, he said, his voice tightening with emotion, things were different. My parents were calm, kind even. My older sister joked that it was a Christmas miracle. For the first time in years, we felt like a normal family. They laughed, they talked, and for a while, it felt real. Tyler's hand gripped the glass more firmly. But at the end of the night, when we were all together in the living room, they dropped the bomb. They told us they were separating. I remember staring at the Christmas tree lights, trying to understand how something that felt so peaceful could turn into something so devastating. He let out a bitter laugh, shaking his head. Years later, they got back together. On the surface, they seemed stable, but I never felt secure again. Every holiday since then, I've declined their invitations. It's not that I don't care about them. I can't face the possibility of it all falling apart again. He took a deep breath, the weight of his confession settling in the air between them. Maybe it's cowardice. Maybe it's self-preservation. But I've found it's easier to deal with loneliness than to risk reopening those wounds. Alice listened intently, her gaze steady and empathetic. When Tyler finished, a moment of silence passed, heavy yet comforting. Feeling both curious and exposed, he asked, "What about you, Alice? Why don't you have any plans for Christmas?" Alice set her fork down gently, a small gesture that seemed to help her gather her thoughts. Her brown eyes softened, but there was a flicker of something deeper, an old pain she carried quietly. "Well," she began, her voice calm yet tinged with vulnerability. Alice began, her voice steady but heavy with sorrow. "My parents passed away years ago. They were wonderful people, but they left this world far too soon. And to be honest, my marriage didn't survive the death of our 3-year-old son." The weight of her words hit Tyler like a bolt of lightning. He froze, almost choking on his food, the clink of his fork against the plate echoing in the suddenly silent room. His wide eyes searched her face, trying to reconcile her serene demeanor with the immense pain she carried. I'm so sorry, Alice. I had no idea," he stammered, his voice laced with regret and guilt for not having noticed the depths of her pain sooner. Alice offered a gentle, bittersweet smile that spoke of strength forged through grief. "Thank you, Tyler. It's been a few years. I still miss him every single day. That longing never truly goes away, but the sharpness of the pain has dulled over time." Her gaze drifted momentarily to a painting on the wall, as if drawing strength from a distant memory. "Unfortunately, my ex-husband and I couldn't face the grief together. Losing our son slowly pulled us apart." Tyler shifted uneasily in his chair, his own struggle suddenly feeling small in comparison to Alice's profound loss. "You're incredibly strong," he said softly, disarmed by her calm honesty. Alice shrugged gently, her smile tinged with quiet resignation. "Strength isn't always a choice. Sometimes it's simply the only option left." She paused, studying Tyler before continuing in a softer tone. "Can I give you some advice?" "Of course," Tyler replied, leaning forward slightly, drawn in by her sincerity. "Don't let the fear of the future steal the moments you can enjoy in the present. Living in the past only robs us of precious time," she said, her voice carrying a mix of wisdom and kindness. Her words sank deep into Tyler's heart, leaving him pensive. For a moment, he sat silently, reflecting on her advice. The rest of the dinner was lighter, filled with laughter as they discovered shared interests, from music to favorite movies. Time seemed to slip away effortlessly in Alice's company. Around midnight, Tyler smiled warmly. "Alice, I had such a great time tonight. I never imagined you'd have so many funny stories." Alice chuckled. Who would have thought the cat lady was once the lead singer of a college rock band? She teased. Tyler flushed, embarrassed by the nickname she clearly knew about. But Alice wasn't offended. She found the situation amusing. Suddenly, an idea came to Tyler. You're right about not letting fears hold us back. Would you come with me to my parents' house? It's not far. Maybe we can still catch dessert. Alice's face lit up with a smile. I'd love to. Arriving at his parents' house, Tyler was greeted with surprise and joy. His mother, a gray-haired woman with a warm smile, couldn't hide her emotion. Tyler, what a wonderful surprise, she exclaimed, pulling him into a tight hug. His father, a stern-looking man with kind eyes, smiled warmly. I'm glad you came, son. Tyler introduced Alice as a friend, and she was welcomed with open arms. The room was aglow with Christmas lights, and the scent of cinnamon and hot chocolate filled the air. His siblings, along with their spouses and children, filled the space with laughter and energy. Watching them play around the Christmas tree, Tyler felt a pang of regret for the moments he'd missed. As they all savored dessert, a delicious pecan pie, Tyler observed the scene. His mother's laughter filled the room, his nieces and nephews ran joyfully, and Alice chatted animatedly with his sister-in-law. The fear that had kept him away for so long seemed so distant and unnecessary. This was the family he'd been avoiding, united, happy, and loving. In the months that followed, Tyler and Alice grew closer. She became a trusted confidant and an uplifting presence in his life. For Alice, Tyler was someone who made her laugh again and encouraged her to step out of her shell. Slowly, their bond deepened, transforming into a love neither had expected. The following Christmas, Tyler and Alice celebrated together at his parents' home. The atmosphere was lively and filled with laughter. During a quiet moment, Tyler stood and cleared his throat, catching everyone's attention. His heart raced as he knelt before Alice, pulling a small box from his pocket. Alice, you've shown me that the past doesn't have to define our future. You've taught me to cherish every moment and open my heart again. You make me want to be a better person every day. Will you marry me? Tears filled Alice's eyes as she gave a heartfelt yes. The room erupted in applause and cheers. As Tyler embraced Alice, he whispered, Christmas is no longer a day I dread. With you, it's a day of hope, love, and new beginnings. Their kiss sealed not only their love, but also the promise of a bright future. That night, surrounded by family and joy, Tyler realized the true spirit of Christmas wasn't found in decorations or gifts. It was in the courage to heal, the power of love, and the beauty of second chances. Tyler and Alice's journey was a testament to how unexpected connections can transform lives. Their story proved that sometimes the greatest gifts come unwrapped, bringing healing, love, and hope.